I've been wanting to start a Turo car rental business, but I don't exactly have the money to buy another car, so the next best thing is running the business for someone else. My friend Will has his own Turo fleet, and for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to be managing this car that rents for $50 a day to see how hard the business is and hopefully make some money. So it's currently about 9 a.m. I have to get an Uber to the airport because the car just got dropped off. Hi, how are you? All right, so I just found the Turo car in the parking lot. Overall, it looks pretty good from the inside and the outside, so I'm going to take it back to the house, clean it up, clean the outside a little bit, and fill it back up with gas so I can get it to the next customer tonight. So I drove the car 30 minutes back home to take pictures of how the customers left it and make sure there was no damage, and honestly it was left pretty dirty on the outside and inside. The floor mats are super muddy and there's crumbs and trash everywhere in the car. It needs a pretty good vacuum. So after paying $2, I washed the car with soap and water and vacuumed the inside. And now the car is looking spotless and it's ready for the next customer. It's taking it for 3 days and making me a total of about $200 after fees. And this customer did pay for airport delivery, which is an extra $75, so I'm gonna go drop this car off and then see how much money we made today. So I picked up a ticket, locked the key, and then left. So now we'll see this car in 3 days. Guys, I'm going to pick up the car right now, and as you can see, I am less than empty on my gas tank. The gas light's on, and if I run out of gas here, this is gonna be pretty bad. Okay, I just ran out of gas on the side of the road. My car will not start. It is completely dead. And I was able to make it to the nearest gas station. Only problem is they are remodeling it and all of the pumps are out of order. And I'm over 10 minutes away from the next closest gas station, so we're in a little bit of trouble here. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So long story short, the worker told me there was another gas station down the road, so I coasted down the highway and thankfully I made it to the gas station. Okay, so I just found the car in the lot and we ran into our second issue of the day. The car is filthy. I don't know what he was driving in, mud, dirt, something like that, but you can't even see all the dust that well on the camera. But the car, it's pretty dirty. And now it's pretty much just gonna be the same process as earlier in the video, washing the car, vacuuming the inside, and giving it to the next customer. So now that the car is washed and clean, it's time to do the checkout process, which includes inspecting the car for any damages, taking pictures of literally everything for the next trip, and making sure everything works as it should. And I just got $100 from Will for running the car for the first couple days. So I'm gonna keep a tally of how much money I make in this entire video. As of right now, we have $100. I haven't even had the car for 24 hours yet, and somebody already booked a trip for the next 4 days, coming out to $219 after fees. And knock on wood, it's been pretty easy. I haven't had to deal with any issues, and the car is pretty much always booked. So now I'm gonna go take it to the airport and then not worry about it for 4 days. I dropped the car off for the third time, and Will just sent me another $130 after only having the car for about a week and a half. So now I'm sitting at $230 after running this Turo business for about a week and a half, which is honestly pretty good money. Okay, so let's talk about some of the numbers. For the time I've had the car, it's made a total of $765, and I get a 30% cut of that, making me $230. And it's all profit for me because the Ubers, gas, and car washes are all covered by Will because the guests pay the delivery fees directly to him. So my only job is really just maintaining the car and doing the deliveries and pickups, usually only once or twice a week. So as you can assume, it's pretty easy money. And after managing Will's car, I'm actually really considering buying another car within the next couple weeks to start my own business on this channel. So if you guys want to see that, make sure you subscribe. But it's not all rainbows and smiles because I actually just ran into a pretty big issue. I was taking pictures of the car and I noticed that this tire looks pretty low. It doesn't look completely flat, but I'm scared there might be a nail in this tire. The tire pressure came out to just over 15 psi, and as you can see, the rear tire needs to be 30 psi, so we're just over halfway full in the tire, and I'm thinking there's a nail in it, but we need to look. So I looked around the tire for a nail, and thankfully I didn't see anything. I think there might be a tiny leak or just air coming out of it slowly with a lot of driving. There's a quick trip 2 miles away that I think has air for the tires, so I'm gonna drive there, fill up the tires, and pray that there's not a nail or a leak, and then get it ready for the next customer. As soon as I started driving, the TPMS sensor went off, so that clearly means the tire is pretty low. But thankfully I was able to make it to the quick trip where they had free air, and I filled up the tire to where it needed to be. And now we're sitting at pretty much exactly 30 psi, so let's hope the tire stays inflated. I'm gonna drive the car around all day and see if it's still around 30 psi tonight, and if it's not, I'm gonna have to take it to Discount Tire, but I didn't see any nails, so I think we're gonna be okay. So obviously with me not owning the car, the finances were pretty straightforward, but if you were to rent your own car on Turo, you would have made about $940 in this 2 weeks, minus $175 for Ubers, $50 for gas, and $20 for car washes, and obviously accounting for the wear and tear on your car. But after all expenses, the CRV profited $700, meaning it'll make about $1,400 to $1,500 a month for what's pretty easy work on your end. Okay guys, I just pulled over because I just noticed this on the windshield. I don't know if you guys can see it, but there's a circle crack right there in the windshield. I was trying to find the old pictures because I can't remember if that was there or not. I noticed it from the inside. It's a pretty noticeable crack on the windshield. Okay, so I just got off the phone with Will about this crack, and we looked at the pictures before and after, and there was no crack on the windshield. That means the renter did have the car when it was cracked. I'll pop some better pictures on the screen of how big it actually is. But like I said, it's nothing terrible at all. It should just be maybe $100 to $200 max to repair. But now I'm gonna have Will submit these damage claims to Turo, and I'll let you guys know how much we actually end up getting for this claim.
I'm going to charge her to probably just fill the crack. I'm basically just going to stay in communication with the guest. And like I have up to 19 days to get the reimbursement from her before I can escalate it to Turo for them to cover the repair.
So the guest ended up agreeing to pay the repair costs, so I got on the phone with a few windshield repair places, and I found one that gave me a good offer, so I scheduled them to come tonight at 5 o'clock. Long story short, he never showed up, so we're just gonna push that to the side for now and deal with the repair later. But now my 2 weeks with the car are finally done, so I'm gonna get with Will and do a quick recap over all the numbers and what my final thoughts are on Turo. Yo, how's it going, bro?
It's going good. It's going good. Thanks for having me on.
2 weeks with the car is finally done. It honestly went pretty smooth.
Dude, I know. You did a very good job. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries.
Bro.
So, my first question, I did a little estimate for how much was gone, but do you know how much the car made in the 2 weeks that I had it?
So the total earnings on the car in that 2 week period was like almost $900. So very,
Wow.
very solid. And I believe for the entire month of October, the car did about $1,400 in revenue. So great month.
Dude, I only made 30%. It was honestly pretty good money for only 30%. And so definitely a good business. But another thing I was going to ask, so how many cars do you have right now?
So in total, I have 3 cars listed on the Turo platform right now.
And do you plan to scale? Like, what's your plan to scale? How many do you want?
So I've been buying cars pretty quickly. So I started with one car. It was a Ford Fiesta. I bought another one. It was a 2013 Honda CR-V. I ended up selling the first car I got just because it wasn't a good Turo car. It has a very cheap daily rate, gave me constant issues, so I sold it. I bought another one, and that was the HR-V. And then I bought another one very recently, and that was a Subaru Outback. So I'm at 3 cars. I've been scaling pretty quickly. I would like to get one more by the end of the year, so that brings me to 4. And the goal for next year is to go all the way to 10. So
that's crazy. Yeah, I already told you this, but I just bought a car.
Congrats, bro.
They don't know that yet.
What car did you get?
Thank you. This is 2018.
Really? That is awesome.
Yeah.
So I was actually looking at when I was looking at my HR-V. So I was considering between the two. They're actually very, very solid cars. I believe they're ranked they're like number 1 or number 2 ranked in reliability. So you shouldn't have any problems whatsoever.
So for the management thing I did, you have a company that does the same thing that I'm doing, right?
And then we find a manager, or we manage it ourselves, depending if you're in Denver or in other areas. So if you're curious on that business, we're up to like 25 cars now. And in July, we had a $40,000 month in revenue for our clients.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. And as I said, I just bought my first ever Turo car. So if you guys want to see that, make sure to subscribe. That video is coming out ASAP. I dropped a pretty big bag.